All right, guys. Excuse me. First week of November already, and we're talking about Christmas. Have you left it too late to sell? We're going to chat through this morning.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Yeah, 3rd of November. You know what happens?
Cashing out.
You know what happens when November rolls around? All of a sudden you go, no,
Yeah.
November?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then everyone starts talking about Christmas and
7 Saturdays till Christmas.
7 Saturdays, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. And so lots of conversations. I actually had a handful of appraisals yesterday and vendors were going, so if we get the property on the market next week, have we left it too late or should we be waiting until the new year? So we're going to talk about what the market is doing, what the market does over Christmas, and then what the market does in January.
Yep.
What do you reckon? Too late?
No. I think you're effectively waiting a pretty long time if you don't do the business over the next couple of weeks, get on the market, sell. You've got 6-week settlements when you sell a property. Takes probably a week to get exchanged, finance approved, that sort of stuff. So you're like 7 weeks behind the 8 ball. So to get started now, even if you actually exchange next couple of weeks and settle in December or January, it's pretty quick. You're really waiting another 3 months. And you don't know if you are. And
no, you're not waiting.
You don't know if interest rates are going to be higher, and you don't know if what the economy is going to be, if there's going to be a stock drop hitting the market.
Yeah.
So I think your clear and present dangers are very apparent now. The upshot's very apparent, the downshot's very apparent. You know everything. So I think if it's in your DNA and you're thinking about it, I'll be doing it now.
Okay.
I would be waiting.
So, and then we've also got the black cloud called a potential interest rate rise next Tuesday, Melbourne Cut Day. I've actually got some vendors that are waiting to let me know whether or not they're going to bring their property to market next week, post whatever happens with the interest rates. And also people just want to see what sort of effect that's going to have on the market. But we've had 13 of them. And guess what the market's done?
It's so weird. It's so weird.
It is really, really bizarre. So we've had 13 of them. Now, I've got a very good friend who's very high up in the banking world.
So high.
And I met up with her the other night. And she was mentioning to me that, they've had some, that everything, the property market, the banking world has literally defied all odds. But I can't honestly say, look, I think we may actually have one more interest rate rise, just given the stats.
If I was a betting man, I'd say 100%.
Okay. For Tuesday. Yes, for Tuesday. I reckon we could have one more.
They're going to just spank everyone prior to Christmas, prior to holidays, retailing, and just remind everyone to not go crazy. They've always done it.
Yeah.
They always give everyone a little spank before Christmas.
Yeah.
Interest rates.
So I think that there could be one more interest rate rise. But I even said to this client of mine the other day, I said, just get your property on the market now. The interest rate rise, I don't believe is going to have a dramatic effect on the property market, because you look at the past 13 and the market has still gone up, guys. It's still gone up. In fact, it's busier now than it was right in the middle of all the interest rates coming up.
Yeah,
so,
but people are saying, is this the straw that's going to break the camel's back?
And it could very well be. I have to say, over the last 13 months, it's only been in the last few weeks that I've had clients calling going, we're out, we're done, we have to get the property on the market, we have to sell.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting. I'm seeing the same as well. It's just the last couple of weeks where people are starting to go, we're going to sell for this reason, or that threshold of pain has been hit.
Yeah, but the the short answer, guys, is, and what we're talking about this morning is, have you left it too late to get your property on the market before Christmas? The answer is no. I do, however, believe things do quieten down a little bit over sort of from about the 21st, 22nd of December until about the second week of Jan, they start to pick up a little bit. They do definitely quieten down in certain areas. So Northern Beaches, which is where we're based, is a holiday destination. We actually get an influx of people coming into the beaches. Our office does stay open, always has the whole way through, and we always list and sell property over that period of time. Is it a booming market? No. Is it an okay time to get your property on the market? Yes. Because the busiest days, Mark, for realestate.com.
Well, I was talking to a client last night about it, and the analytics are nuts. So the realestate.com and domain and all and social media with real estate go absolutely gangbusters. Those 4 weeks, pretty much 15th of December across to 15th of January. The reason why is that property emotional, that appetite to buy doesn't go away because you're on a holiday. If anything, it actually amplifies because you've got time. So people's appetite really gets quenched, fed through that period.
And not only that, guys, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, what do I do? Should I go, get on the market now, or should I be waiting until that second or third week of Jan? Understand everyone's thinking that way. Do the opposite to what everybody does, because guess what's going to happen in that third week of January with the property market? There's going to be a massive dump of stock because most real estate agents, they will be.
Could be.
Well, so especially if there's going to be an interest rate rise.
If you're a family and when you're saying we're going to leave the house, you're probably going to say, let's have one more Christmas in the house.
That's what happens.
And then sell it.
That's what happens.
Do you know what I mean? I think there could be in January and February, I think we could get a bit more stock.
So I'm already signing up listings for the third week of Jan. I'm already signing up a significant amount of listings. Vendors that have said, look, I'm probably just not going to be ready for to get the property on the market this side of the year. When do you reckon we should launch? A lot of agents do go away because ordinarily it does quieten down. But we always like to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So, if everyone's going to be getting their property on the market in that third week of January, it would make good sense to probably do the opposite and get your property on the market 100%. Before the dump of stock.
100%.
Because there are buyers. We've always transacted property throughout that Christmas New Year period.
Oh yeah, I think when everyone zigs, you should zag. And I think that if you've got an intention to sell in the next 6 months, I reckon there's a beautiful window right now.
Yep.
Beautiful.
The other thing is it's not just about property and real estate agents. There's obviously other people involved when we come to doing property transactions, and that's the banks, and that's the real estate agents, and that's the mortgage brokers. The banks, the solicitors, I should say, and the mortgage brokers. So you just want to make sure that all your army of people are going to be available to you. We actually do have some of the best people in their fields that will operate right throughout that Christmas New Year period, so that we can get exchanges done. We do have a mortgage broker on hand. We do have a solicitor on hand, so that we can assist you throughout that period. But the lag times for that sort of stuff can be a little bit longer. So you just want to take that into account as well. And stylists and things like that, they will close down over that Christmas and New Year period. But do not let that stop you guys. Do not.
Anything else new in your week?
Luke's saying he'd be launching on Wednesday if there's no interest rate rise. Luke,
They're meeting on December?
They're meeting next Tuesday, Melbourne Cup Day.
December?
No, I think they're meeting every 3 months now.
Ooh. Last one.
Yep, so this could be the last one for the year. Sure. And look, I don't know if I necessarily agree. I'd be launching regardless. If you're wanting to get your property on the market this side of the year, it is not too late. Again, history always tells us that's always a good indicator as to what's going to happen moving forward. The last 13 interest rate rises did not have an effect on the market. Against all odds, the market still increased. So I don't know that last interest rate rise is going to have an effect with the buyers.
Yeah, but I believe there's a threshold, and
I do believe
I
that,
believe
yeah.
that's being tested. I'm seeing it tested at the moment in
Yeah.
the marketplace. I didn't see in the last rate rises people saying, "Yeah, look, I'm going to sell it because it's just too much." People are saying it now.
I agree with that. But to the buyers out there, they're also still not seeing an enormous amount of stock coming on.
No.
And nor am I hearing buyers saying we're just going to wait until next year until a lot more stock comes on.
Yeah, they're not waiting.
They're not.
Yeah, that predatory buy,
No.
that predatory purchase, we're not seeing those guys going, we're going to wait until it goes down. Da, da, da. I think everyone's fairly convinced the market's well galvanised or insulated enough where there's not going to be a drop in pricing.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, all the immigration's helped.
Yep.
So that's selling before Christmas. Before we go, what's new, Lise, in your week?
What's new? I've got a bit of a few little changes happening in my team. So am I going to mention this right now?
Sure.
Okay. So many of you guys will know that Michael Silich and I have worked together for many, many years. We've had it's just been a dream run, 6 years. But Mr. Michael Silich is going to be moving into different waters. So we wish him the best of luck. Honestly, such a legend of a guy. It's been an absolute dream working with Michael for the last 6 years. And Michael's moving into more of a corporate style role. Not quite sure what that entails just yet, but I'm certain that we will hear about his next chapter and his next adventure. So just want to wish him the absolute very, very best of luck. And as I said, it's been an amazing, really 6 years. Michael's been with us with our agency for 7 years. It's a really long time.
Top
These
guy.
days, particularly, it's
Beautiful
a long time.
human. Beautiful
Amazing.
human.
Yeah, lovely guy. So
Good luck, Mr. Michael.
we do wish him the very best of luck.
Anything else?
What
What happened this week? My daughter finished school.
Oh my goodness, that's massive news. Well, I did post some photos. We don't talk about our family life a huge amount.
No, but I do.
On air.
Like we got 2 kids, and this is our last daughter through school. One thing that I didn't calculate was I calculated the happiness, but I didn't calculate the sadness, because having little Jade finish was our last daughter through the school system, and I don't know, feeling a bit sad.
Oh.
Like that little. No, just like I just don't think the chickens are going to be running around the house or what you used to in at home. So no one ever told me that.
No, and also I forgot about the really, really late nights, because when you're a parent and you've got your kids at school, they just have to be home during the week, right?
Yeah.
'Cause they got school the next day. But it's been like a non-stop week of celebrations, and I'm all for celebrations.
You're up all the time.
But I'm up like a crazy worried mum waiting for her to get home. And it's so funny because when I was awake at 1:30 the other night waiting for her to get home, it was ringing in my ears, my mum saying to me, "I can't sleep until you get home. One day you'll understand when you're a mum." And I was like, "Just go to sleep, mum." And that was in an era where we had no mobile phones.
Yeah, that sucked.
No mobile
That
phones.
sucked.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, congratulations to everyone. The HSC, I think, it's
all the
finished
kids out there. Is
today.
it?
I think it's all done today.
Okay,
Yeah.
congratulations, HSCers, and to the parents, and particularly to the parents where it's their last child through school.
Yeah. And, new chapters. I was saying to Jade, to our daughter, now you finished little school, now it's on to big school. Big school is
Big
just,
life.
big life, your career, and onto new adventures. So very exciting though. Fortunately for our daughter, she's going to kill us because she hates us talking about her on our social media. But fortunately for our daughter, she knows what she wants to do and always has. She's going to go into nursing. Couldn't be a more fitting career
She's
for her.
following in my footsteps. Yeah, I was going to be a nurse. Decided to be a real estate agent, and
How's that?
Nurse Novak.
Nurse Novak.
I would look great as a nurse.
Yeah,
Bit
in
hairy.
your scrubs, yeah.
Yeah.
But fortunately for her, she does know what she wants to do. I think it can be hard, and
Oh, super.
you know, it's not necessary to put so much pressure on yourself. If you're a mum of a child who's just finished school, or if you are someone who's watching who's just finished school, I actually get quite a few teenage kids reaching out saying, you know, asking me about real estate and things like that. Guys, it's not possible for you to know what it is that you want to do at 17 or 18 years of age for the rest of your life. It's not.
But it's expected.
If it's expected.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you can work it out from a really young age, good on you.
Yep.
If,
And if
you
you can't,
it's
good on
fine.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
Mark, I was 46 when I worked it out.
Yeah, I was
Literally 46 when I worked out that I wanted to go in and do real estate sales.
I was born as an agent.
Pretty much were.
Yeah. So I had a business card from like 2. I was in a suit from like 4.
This is not true. This is not true. But what you were asked to do was go back to your school and talk to the school students
Yes.
about how a child at school
Can take so much out of the school
can
system.
get straight Fs.
Yeah.
And make a success of their life in their later years.
Yeah, interesting. Cromer High School.
So,
Northern Beaches.
but guys, understand, and look, you know, again, I was not overly academic at school. I enjoyed school, but I wasn't overly academic. Personally, I felt like for me, it was just a bit of a waste of time. I couldn't wait to get out and work. You know, initially I wanted to be a journalist.
Yep.
And a news reporter.
Yeah.
And then realised that when I was 17, then realised that a huge amount of journalism meant politics, and I'm not one for politics. So then took a different avenue and went and became a travel agent, which I absolutely loved, and did that for 5.5 years, worked like a Trojan, and then went and worked in my parents' business for 14.5 years, and then transitioned into real estate.
Boom.
And here we are.
And anything else this week happened?
What else has happened this week? Well, that's a lot for 1 week.
Some good sales.
There's been some great sales.
Some good listings.
Yes. Actually, Mark, I do want to mention just that high-end luxury real estate section. I've got 5 properties at the moment above $10 million. Some of these properties you're actually not going to see on my social media. Some of them are very, very off-market. But I have to say, in the last week, I have been absolutely floored at the level of inquiry that's been coming through for high-end luxury real estate. Floored. One of my beautiful properties that I've got on the market, I had 8 inquiries come through on that property on Sunday.
Well, they're not really influenced by interest rates.
No, they're not. They're not.
They've sort of operated and made their money over a 30, 40-year period, and that the influence of a 1 month or 1 year interest rate hike doesn't really change those cats.
No. And as you always say, that energy always transfers somewhere as well. You know, so while people are struggling, people are also doing exceptionally well in different businesses. So the energy definitely does transfer. But Luke's also made a really good point, massive immigration.
Yeah.
I had a buyer actually yesterday that I was showing through a property, and overseas buyer, husband's originally Northern Beaches. They're looking to move back here, and it was about finding the right property, didn't have a budget. You know, it wasn't about the money, it was about finding the right property.
Yeah, that energy thing's always relaxed me, and I'll say it, that money doesn't get burnt or buried. So when the stock markets shit themselves, or when the property market corrects, interest rates go up, money doesn't get burnt or buried, it transfers. So, and the energy transfers. So you've just got to work out where it's going, basically. Yeah. So don't worry about that present moment. Worry about the direction of where it's going and how you can be there as a recipient.
Very interesting.
So wise, eh?
Unbelievable. That was like absolute poetry.
Oh, God.
Absolute poetry.
My God.
I think that's a wrap, guys.
Sometimes I shock myself.
And us too, don't worry. All right, guys, I think that's a wrap. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome day. Thanks for tuning in as always.
Love ya. See ya.
See you
Bye.
guys.